the greatest movie reviews and interviews. This is your entertainment ticket. YEticket.com. Yeah.
Hey, this is Al McGee with YEticket.com. I'm here with Jonathan Hammond, and he's the director of this new film called Fireflies in the Dusk. And we're going to talk about this film. So how you doing, Jonathan?
Really great. How are you doing?
All right. Now, tell us a little bit about this film. I saw it, but, let's get them from you, the director and writer, about this film.
Yeah. Well, I just happen to be somebody who really loves movies where you're not really sure where they're going. And I grew up loving time travel movies as well as like sort of Victorian romance novels. So we just sort of merged them in what I hope is an original kind of offbeat hybrid. And yeah, and so I wanted to parody, but also pay homage to so many movies of my youth. One of my mother's favorite movies is a movie called Somewhere in Time, which she made me watch like endlessly. And I think there's something about that sort of uh, storyline that was just kind of ingrained into me. And there's like a ridiculous absurd element to it, even though it works as a romantic film. That's my area of play. Just wanting to kind of make fun of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that film,
Yeah, good.
Somewhere in Time. I've
Yeah,
seen it a couple of times. And
yeah,
now that I've seen the film and you gave that little explanation, I understand why you had the idea to make this type of movie. And also with this type of movie, well, it's not unbelievable for far as the film goes, but the
right.
character Charlotte and also the main character, the other guy, Zachary, explain them to me.
Explain them to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's kind of you know Charlotte is sort of a hybrid of a lead character that would be in either like A Room with a View or Pride and Prejudice. Um, and Zachary, we just thought it would be funny. What would be a character would be the most contrasting to her in the modern day, and we thought it would be sort of a modern tech bro. That would be the most unlikely romance or friendship. We purposely didn't tell you how they started their correspondence. I think that it's just silly enough that audiences will just go with it. Um, but
Yeah,
there is,
I saw that. I didn't. I said, well, how did they get started? How did they know
yeah,
what to do to get together and start writing these letters? But because for one reason, in the 18, seems like it's the 1800s. I must
yeah,
say, for
yeah,
me, and writing letters are very important to people at that time. And every time she read a letter from Zachary, and he's a modern guy, in our time who really
yeah,
don't write letters and don't know how, don't have a command of the English language.
right.
Well, but she still hung on every word that he wrote to her, and she totally believed every word in that, well, in the pages that he sent her. And so you really played upon that time period of letters, words, how they are very important.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I mean that is just I mean there's a few movies like this that came before where they actually do write letters. And so that's just really where the idea came from. And obviously she lived at a time where you had, the only way to communicate to somebody was often through letters, and that was it. So that was just the obvious go-to for us.
Yeah, exactly. And also that you show during that time it's very important for a woman to marry, to have a man in their
Yeah.
life in order for them to survive, not just succeed, but to survive, to have food to eat and things like that. You really showed that. And today it's different because women are very, very much independent. Because I talked to some women over the years, and I remember when they couldn't get a credit card in the 60s and
Right.
70s.
Right, right, exactly. That was kind of one of the things we were trying to comment on. That um, eh, there's a lot of there's a faction of the population wants to bring back elements of uh, a time that's past us. We've already been there, and that's one of them. And it's sort of like women's rights, and so. I don't think I think that thinking that way is a little dangerous, and that's kind of what we wanted to comment on. This is a reminder of what things had been and where we should not go back to.
Yeah, exactly. But I like that idea. I like that you brought that out because, in my opinion, it really shows the progress we made far as being equal, women having equality, women being independent, but also show how men too didn't really have to depend on the woman also because many times we men had to depend on women to, well, take care of everything for us while we went back and forth to work.
Right, right. Exactly, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that was like I think the fun of it is sort of showing the disparity, between the modern and present, and male and female, and gay and straight, and all that. Yeah,
But also, I like Cecil and Martin also.
yeah.
I like because I think it's Cecil. He came from her time, and regardless of his sexuality, he knew that he had to marry anyway, and
Yes,
he
yeah.
wanted to. And tell us a little bit about that.
So again, Cecil is based on very loosely based on the character of Cecil in A Room with a View. That was played by Daniel Day-Lewis, and he was sort of a dapper dandy. And in the Victorian era, you were allowed if you came out as gay, you would have been put in somewhere behind bars, whether it be a prison or a mental institution, or so you couldn't be, and he was obviously gay. So in the modern era, when he comes through the time portal, he's gonna thrive. And that was another thing we wanted to show. Like there's disparity between what once was and what is. And we thought doing that in the funniest way possible would be where it wasn't like medicine where we could kind of comment on it, but without, me like wagging a finger. But that gave us so many comment opportunities.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
it really did. It really did show many of those opportunities. Also show those characters, and also how they felt about themselves. They were very proud of themselves. They were not ashamed of themselves. I really
right.
like that part too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Jonathan, tell me a little bit more about how did you get into filmmaking as a director and as a writer?
It's all I've ever wanted to do. Like since I was three, I was obsessed with movies from the first time my mother took me to see a movie, and I just always had that bone. I think I did go to film school for a little bit, but after college, things were dry. I didn't really pursue it, mainly because it was just so expensive. And then in San Diego, about 10 years ago, we just started doing the 48-hour film festival, which kind of forces you to be creative and write a script and shoot a movie, edit it, and score it in 2 days. So the quality isn't great. But I realized I had the ability to do what we were winning. And that sort of led to becoming a full-time videographer and making several short films, one of which was nominated for an Emmy. So I realized I had the ability, and it's to me it's hard work, but it's so satisfying and it's joyous. And I feel that I love expressing myself and putting sort of my quirky sense of humor out in the world, and just it gives me personally value, but I hope that other people react to it and enjoy it. But I can't say why. I don't know say why. It's just sort of born that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can understand. And unfortunately, I only saw this one film of yours.
Right. No
And
worries.
I see you have a list of films,
Yeah.
and you won some awards, and you've been nominated many
Yeah.
times too
Yeah.
for your short films. Now,
Yeah.
What's the greatest joy you get out of filmmaking? What is the greatest joy?
That's a really good question. For me, I think there's two answers to that. For me, the greatest joy is actually the process of working with collaborators, actors, technicians. I love the process, but also there was an experience where I had a movie called Kathy that played in a film festival, and the audience really reacted to it, both emotionally and the humor of it.
Hmm.
And the energy was so palpable. It was like I felt like a rock star. I don't know how to explain it. And seeing an audience not just react to the jokes, but what it meant on a deeper level and knowing they're related to it, it felt like I had done something good in the world. So I mean, it's a selfish feeling, but I was on a high for a week after that. I felt like I had value in the world.
Oh,
And it's rare, and I don't grow thinking that. But that I have been chasing the dragon for
oh,
sure.
well, it's nothing wrong with that.
No,
Nothing wrong with that at all because that's how we live in this world. That's what keep us waking up every day,
right.
having that joy and also still trying to achieve that goal in this world, in my opinion. You know. All
You're
right,
right.
one more quick question.
Sure.
Um, full length films. What's your plans there? Have you started that yet? Oh,
Yeah.
when you
That,
going
that,
there?
that's the next goal, to be honest. These short films are movies that I finance myself, and you don't make money on them. So the idea was to show these, to make these, in many ways, Fireflies in the Dusk is a proof of concept, because we have a script, we can turn it either into a full length movie or sort of have a series, like an anthology series, kind of like Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, where you have that's a little more reverent in tone, where you have like horror, sci-fi, or fantasy like this. And then I hope to start. I hope to make a full length very soon. That is the next step in my career. But I needed to. I felt it was important. I like I said, I got into film school briefly. I majored in English literature, but my minor was film. So I looked at my last movie, not this one, but before, that was expensive. And I looked at it as the investment was my film school to learn how to do it proper. And then this is the follow up. And so we wanted to be able to show producers and investors this is what I'm capable of doing. And so hopefully, like we just premiered just a few days ago at Cleveland. So I am hoping to show this to a variety of like producers and agents and
Yeah, put
investors.
them together. Yeah, put them together so they can say, "Yeah, let's sign him up."
Yeah,
Basically,
I would love that. Yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah. Give me
and
the
it
money.
works. It works. It works for many professional, successful filmmakers.
Yeah, yeah. But I needed to do it for myself too. I needed to show that I have the goods, I hope.
Exactly. Well, Jonathan, thank you for taking time with me here
You.
at yeticket.com. And I'm really feeling good that I talked to you, Jonathan, and also that I saw your film.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
And keep up the good work. And
Thank you
next
so
time
much.
you got something, come to me. Let's talk about it some more.
Will do, absolutely. You have a good day.
And thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye.
All right.
This is your answer.